runs on air?
Yeah, it's a pneumatic tool and runs off compressed air.
So what do you do with all that?
Oh, there's probably a dozen different tools you can buy. I think I've got 2 or 3 of them.
I feel like I'm on the moon because when I talk about tools, you know, my tool chest is like a 2-quart bag, plastic bag with a couple screwdrivers.
Yeah.
So when I look around and kind of marvel, I mean, stunning. What does this place say about you?
Yeah, Dan, you know, part of it is, I think it's a chase for validation. I mean, part of it's desire and part of it is, I want to do something. I want to come through. I want to be the guy. I want to do that, you know, and I want to risk.
Why did that come out?
I have no idea why, but enough of the rattling.
Some men are confident with tools, some with motorcycles, some with finances. We all look for a place we feel confident, and we stay there until we get disrupted.
Bart, I'm pretty sure that's not a chandelier. What's the prop?
Yeah, Dan, I call that my prop of shame. There's a story of deep shame in that, but of redemption as well, and that's why I have it. I wanted a more reliable plane, and so I actually found somebody who had re-engineered and rebuilt the platform that I was flying. They put a turbine engine on it. That's a turbine prop. We were landing at the place where they build these airplanes. Very short runway. It had been snowing. They had to plow the runway, a lot of ice and snow on it. So he says, okay, you want to get on the ground pretty quick because short runway, and then you want to go into beta, which is reverse thrust. That is a new thing in a turbine airplane. I didn't have beta reverse thrust, where the prop actually reverses and it pushes the air out and stops you very quickly. And so as I came over the numbers, I had the reaction that I had hundreds of times in my old airplane as I pulled all the power back and I hit the beta lock and went through the beta lock in the air. Went into reverse thrust. Airplane just takes a dive for the runway, and that's the prop that you see there. We careen down the runway about 1,000 feet and go into a snowdrift, and jet fuel spewing out, sparks going everywhere. We weren't hurt. We climbed out of the airplane. Gear had collapsed. The plane was a wreck, and so the next day I went to the instructor and I said, are you okay? I'm really sorry I did that. He said, yeah, I'm okay. He said, I thought we were dead. But he said, do you realize what you were doing when we were careening down the runway? I said, no. He said, you were hitting the top of the dashboard with your fist, screaming at yourself, you worthless piece of shit, you worthless piece of shit. And when I got back to the team and we started chasing that down, we found a very, very young wound in my heart of when my brother would shame me with that saying. And I had this agreement that I was this self-hatred, this self-reproach, and it came bubbling out.
Well, I think the number one thing that most people do to cover shame is they turn to their own self-contempt or they turn to contempt toward others. So contempt becomes sort of our shield, our covering, that pressure to perform, yet on the other side, I'm gonna make sure that nobody else sees, and I'm gonna hate what shows that weakness, and then I'm gonna work really, really hard. So hatred, contempt, almost a violence against ourselves, pushes us to perform, to succeed, and then when we don't, that kind of violence, that I am a shit, that I think is so revelatory, what's truly there.
I got a confession. So, getting ready for this trip, I actually went out and practiced in secret. I found a dirt lot in town that you guys didn't know about, and I would go down there and I practiced my turns on those big heavy bikes because I didn't want to be the idiot on the trip.
I can totally relate to this, especially in the world of academia, where I'm in currently, where performance, but mostly intelligence, is the root to having worth. So in some of my tougher classes, and frankly in all of my classes, I read everything twice. Most people don't read. I read everything twice. And then I go back and memorize my annotations just to make sure that in every class I am known as competent, as intelligent, and in that intelligence, powerful.
Shame is where we feel exposed. That's something inside of us that's pretty hideous and ugly, that we've spent our lives pretty much hiding, kind of comes to the surface. And as a result, we're now exposed and we're going to get what we expect other people to bring us. In many ways, many of us spend our lives trying to cover over what we know inside is this brokenness that we've got to hide.
We're all working pretty hard to make sure that the world sees us in a certain way.
Bart, do you use all of the tools in here? I mean, I see wrenches the size of my forearm of every dimension and size. There's a part of me that kind of goes, I'm intimidated, and also, when do you use that particular
Look, those
wrench?
big tools?
Yeah.
Well, there's one job for that, and that's on the Caterpillar outside, and it's to adjust the treads on it. And,
Caterpillar. You have a caterpillar?
yeah, Dan.
I mean, not like the thing that grows into a butterfly?
Yeah, would you like to drive it?
No.
I think you'd
Talk
love
about
it.
fathering.
You would love it.
I spend my life in the academy in order to be intelligent. That's my world. I escape the world of mechanics, and certainly I can't say that I've ever been conscious of this, but escaping caterpillars.
And it's one of those mountains you think I could never climb, but you get in that seat and you'll climb that mountain pretty easily.
Let's see.
Everybody wants to feel competent. Nobody wants to feel like a fool. So we all find a place where we know what we're doing, and we hide there.
I love it. Look at them.
Real courage isn't doing flips on your motorcycle. Real courage is coming out of hiding.
Now what?